Imagine a country once written off as a failed state, and now we have witnessed it rise from the ruins to become one of Africa's most promising and stable economies today. Achieving such a turnaround demands bold reforms and a fundamental shift in economic philosophy. In Uganda, this transformation is driven by what we know as Musevenomics. Musevenomics represents the economic management policies and philosophy implemented by President Yoweri Museveni that have transformed Uganda from a failed state in 1986 to one of Africa's most promising and stable economies today. Musevenomics seeks to transform Uganda into an independent, integrated, self-sustaining upper middle-income economy by 2040, where every Ugandan prospers. Musevenomics is not just about the economic history of Uganda, it's our roadmap to prosperity. By 2040, this philosophy aims to deliver a $500 billion economy, making us better than Denmark at $449 billion, Malaysia $444 billion, Philippines $497 billion, and in the same league with Norway, which is $504 billion. Such an economy means better healthcare, education, infrastructure, and living standards for every Ugandan family from Kampala to the remotest villages. Musevenomics is more than numbers and policies. It is a promise of prosperity based on a solid foundation and gains. Musevenomics for my country and my development.
Welcome to our Musevenomics show. In the previous episodes, we learned what Musevenomics is. We also learned that Musevenomics is anchored on 7 pillars and 12 principles. So far, we have covered 3 principles. We started by monetizing the subsistence economy. We then looked at liberalization and state control. And last episode, we are looking at infrastructure investment. Today, I am turning the table to be in the driving seat. Today we are going to tackle value addition and industrialization. With me here is Dr. Ezra Muhumuza, the big man, Executive Director of Uganda Manufacturers Association. Dr. Ezra, greet our viewers.
Thank you. I greet all of you, the viewers out there, and I am happy to interact with you in this not only philosophical but realistic episode of talking about industrialization as a catalyst of change in our society.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ezra. Today we are just going to have a conversation. It's not going to be a question and answer, but we are going to have a conversation to understand where our journey, our industrialization journey. When we talk about Musevenomics, we look at it as a philosophy and the various policies that have transformed Uganda from a failed state in 1986 to one of Africa's most promising economies today. But also look at philosophy and policies in the future. We want to be a $500 million economy by 2040. So while the history may be boring to some people,
yes,
we think we cannot know where we are going without looking at where we have come from. Back in the 80s, the 86, I remember the story was that industries had collapsed in 1986. Those that had survived were operating at less than 5% capacity. We are almost importing everything that we're using at home. But today, the story has completely changed. But probably we need to go back before 1986. Take us through the journey of industrialization, how you have seen it evolve. Think about a butterfly, which starts from an egg, a pupa, a larva pupa, and then you have a butterfly. So what is that journey, Uganda's journey for industrialization?
Thank you. Before I go into the journey, for us to contextualize the journey better, we need to understand what it takes to put up an industry and what an industry means in the space of growth or development. You cannot start an industry by just wishing around, by whims. I would want to have an industry there, and it is there, and it is consistently there. It's not like any other buildings. You can go to downtown or anywhere and put up a building. You wouldn't even care whether tenants will be coming the following day or not. It's not a house I'm going to build, and whether I get married or not, my house is there. The industry does not work that way. An industry has got two forces that at every moment you will never see it. The force of supply of what you're putting inputs into the industry, that is money going out. Then the force of getting the market, to develop a market, that is money going out. So when we talk about industry, it is something that is most complex in human life. You can start anything, you can build a tomb, but you can't build an industry by just mere wishing around. So to bring you to the context of where we are coming from, I understand that there is a generation that wouldn't want to hear about history. But history, whether you want or not, is like a pillar. Gwetuita musinge, for those who understand Uganda, foundation for building any economy. And I normally tell people to point out for me an economy that has thrived without industrialization. It's not there in this world. Because so as long as you open your mouth and eat, it means you need an industry to feed you. Now, in Uganda, I was checking around that the first industry was created by Indians. Those long-term Indians who used to have stores. They would pack things from, bring things from India and elsewhere, they bring them to Kampala. But now they had stores. So they would use small machines to use to pack. And those were the first kind of category of industries that we had. Then later, when we go to the colonialists, they set up very huge industries, but majorly for extraction of raw materials. And the other thing that I normally tell people, you will never discuss industrialization wholly, and you are not discussing the aspect of political governance. So the political governance that we had in that regime of the colonialists was supposed to favor imperialists, to extract raw materials and take. Imperialists were agents of industrialists in Europe and elsewhere. Now these imperialists were supposed to be protected by colonialists. So colonialists by force were supposed to support imperialists who would put up industries. But these industries, the job, the main objective then was to make the bulk raw materials lighter and they can be exported well, easily. That was the objective of the industrialization phase of then. So many of them were started. No one should...
Here in Uganda, we had the Uganda Company as a trading arm for the British. They set it up here inUganda to actually manage the economy.
The economy. For and on behalf of the colonialists. So that they wanted to gang out some of other forces that wanted to come in and trade, especially from the Asian world, who looked as competitors. So they made government of Uganda then start the companies for government of Uganda, but with specific interest to manage competition and manage the resource utilization.
So fast forward to colonial
industries.
You are talking about colonial time, but of course later on we see around 1952, in 1946 something great happened. We came up with our first development plan.
Yes.
By 1952, the Uganda Development Corporation was eventually established.
Yes.
But what was the state like in 1962?
The state of industry was that had two sets of industries. The inherited industries from the colonialists and the emerging industries sponsored by government. Now, government-owned industries. One is inherited, the other, they start as government. Now, the challenge that we had with those, the objective was to produce things that would make government popular. So the popularity of government was based on what we call rationing. That the goods produced, it is only the selected traders who have got a letter from the chairman of the party or the government that would access these things for trading. So the industries then had a problem of inefficiency. They were not running efficiently as businesses. They were running to support government, and they were using government rationing apparatus to manufacture goods out there. So basically these industries failed. I have had very good narrative. Government used to have industries in Jinja, used to have, yes, you can't want my child more than I do. Government accepted that it failed. They had started, they had the intention of producing massively, go to the international trade arena, but again, inefficiencies bogged them down. We get now into another phase.
But of course there were issues, because if you look at the decade from 1962
Yes.
to 1972, we had the Ugandan Asians who were driving manufacturing.
Yes.
Of course, President Obote introduced the cooperatives and gave them more power. Cooperatives also got involved
into some sort of
form of value addition.
Value addition and process.
But in 1972, a big event happened. Idi Amin chased away the Ugandan Asians.
Yes.
Handed over those businesses to us. So now mismanagement started kicking in. In some cases, there was nationalization of the industries.
Some of the industries.
But
yes.
then we were isolated by the international community. Trade embargoes.
So the trade embargo
Yes.
affected us in two ways. Yeah. Those Asian industries which were nationalized used to appropriate their raw materials from imports.
Yeah.
So they cut off, imports were cut off.
Yeah.
Some of them were producing for global market. That was equally cut off. Yeah. Some of them were based on the experts. Now these experts are equally sent out. Yeah. So there is no efficient labor, yeah. There is no raw material, yeah. There is no market. Yeah. So the industries now started to
and of course there is the black market, there is the magendo, there is poverty, because even the local demand is not there.
Yes.
Which then there are wars, which took us to 1986. The scenario I explained, where we now start looking at Musevenomics, where now
before we come to the wars, yeah. Why I would want to amplify the aspects of rationing.
Yeah.
In 70s, late 70s, yeah. History has it that the few industries that were kept working were those that would produce for things that are so much sensitive to the citizens, so that once you produce them and bring them, you have the vote.
Essential goods.
Essential
like
goods.
Sugar.
Like sugar,
yeah.
Like soap, yeah. Like cloth, garments.
Yeah.
So these were not operating on profit, but they were operating out of injections.
Yes.
So now that is what now brought us to actually the reason of mass departure, yeah. Where government became unpopular. Before we came into 70s, early 80s, I mean, yeah. It was because of that scarcity of goods, yeah. That created hatred or separation or lack of confidence between in the citizens on the part of government. Yeah. So citizens lost confidence in the government because it could not produce for everyone. Yeah. Scarcities kept coming.
Because I remember in 1979, 80, he was a very young man, Yusuf Lule, became president. For us here in Buganda, we praised the man. Why? We were able to get free sugar.
Yes.
And Museveni did the same in 1986 with his RC system. So we could line up for sugar, for soap, for paraffin, the kind of things that we are now taking for granted. But they were so scarce that time. But you talked about government injecting. Actually, In 1986, by the 86, 87, by the time we decided to privatize, government was spending 15% of the
Of its
national
total
budget into supporting these companies
to produce.
Two, these companies had obsolete technology. They had been here for quite a long time with no servicing, with expertise gone. So the technology was obsolete.
And even the expert in terms of the people who were working.
Yeah.
People who were working in those industries would be employed there on technical know-how, not on meritocracy.
Yes.
They tell you he's a son of so-and-so, therefore he's supposed, they would say, which industry do you want to head? Then
when do we start changing?
Now, when we get into early 90s,
Yeah.
we get a new set of industries, which are purely market-led, private sector-led set of industries. Yeah. The government industries, some of them tried to continue. Others were now sold to the people who could manage those inefficiencies and how turn around operations. And then another bracket of startup if you can. Government will support you. So we go to those three. Where government continued, then there is where government sold out to private people, and then there is where now private people were encouraged to start. Now we get into the new mushrooming of industries. But these industries, because there was a lot of scarcity, concentrated on production of the basic needs. So we moved with that production of things we use at homestead. The stability in the economy came when families, when households started to get these things and find them on market. Before, you would, if you wanted to buy, for instance, iron roofs, iron sheets, you would go to a factory and pay in advance. You come back with a receipt, but you will never get to hear them call that they are ready. But now what changed a little bit is that these things could be found directly on the market. There is no cheat that is required. You don't have to make a phone call. You simply get your money, go to the market and find these things. Now, because the demand was too much, government started by giving incentives and giving platforms to speak to the private sector, to speak to these industries, to be able to solve the constraints. I have found in my office a picture of His Excellency and the founder of UMA when they were starting where the exhibition takes place. And in his speech he was saying, I don't want to see lorries go to Kenya to bring these things. I want these things produced from here. Now, that was the vision that our industrialists leveraged, and before we know it, in 3, 4, 5 years, by 1995, most of the products were readily available in the market. Now, after that one, we get into a new set of another industry, which was coming in to solve the problem of growth inertia. Because of the small capacity of our manufacturers, and because they were equally starting, the technology was expensive, capital is not available, for us to be able to be on a global competition. Now, government came up with the initiative of foreign direct investment, promotion of foreign direct investment. That is now when you hear that one of the agencies that government set up was Uganda Investment Authority, to be able to attract these foreign people, including those that had been chased away in form of Asians. They were attracted back independently, because some of the industries, they couldn't go back and trace to be in their industries. The world had changed, but they were now encouraged to come back and set up afresh. Now we get into that phase of industries.
So I remember at some stage, I think it was in the 80s, early 80s, we had local industrialists.
Yes.
When you go to, for example, I had butter. We had the Kayondo Shoe Company. We had companies that were actually doing great. And later on, of course, we had the assemblies came up, manufactured TVs when TVs were nowhere to be seen in our country. But somehow, they all disappeared. And I hear even now, the butter shoe that the rich people's children used to wear is no more. It's made out of Uganda. So what led to the collapse of our own companies?
I think I would trace it to 3 factors. Factor number 1, what was the industrial policy saying then? The industrial policy was hobbling. There was no incentives that were very clear. There was no deliberate effort to identify who would be the industrialists. People would just come anyhowly. So it takes me to the second thing, which was about the internal inefficiencies. The inefficiencies that hit government could equally hit on private industries as well. This is what the bigger challenge was. It was about entrepreneurial skills, business management skills, and technical skills. Because by then our technical schools were not adequate to produce enough skilled manpower to support these industries. Industries, you would only rely on importing external technical labor, which became expensive. 2, by then the government system that we had was purely for creation of public servants, not industrialists, not business managers. If you recall very well, it is after the liberalization and open up of the university higher education policy that opened up and say, we need to have people sponsor themselves because we need numbers at the universities. Not all every person would make it to the university, because the problem wasn't that people were failing university education, but it's because the government, who was the prime sponsor, could not sponsor a lot. Now, when the policy opened up and say, you can have schemes where private people can sponsor their children, now the number at the university graduates increased. Now, these graduates have found way into industries, and they are supporting business management. And the inefficiency curve is now coming down because the agents of efficiencies are going up. Then the other issue was, by then we had one single bank called Commercial Bank, which was lending more through cooperatives. So the source of capital was equally challenged. Now, the liberalization policy again supported coming up of other banks. Now, we would find that one industrialist is borrowing from 2 banks, or there has options. If you came to a bank and I don't like you, you will never get a loan, because it was a monopoly bank called Commercial Bank. But right now, when we opened, there is a variety of banks from which we can get a capital to inject into these industries so that they don't collapse the way they used to collapse.
Actually, one of the problems some of these companies faced was insolvency, that they borrowed money from the banks, failed to pay. Then the bank came took over,
but they do not have the competence to run industries either. So the industry would run down.
So there is, of course, the concept of, they call it the E-myth, that for any serious enterprise to work, you need 3 types of skills, 3 types of people. You need the entrepreneur.
Skill.
Entrepreneur. You need the administrator. So what I think was happening in the 80s, 90s, the administration was lacking, not just in industry, but even when you go to banking, a number of our banks collapsed because of management. If you look at the boards, were led by the foreigners. So later on, of course, when you look at those who were successful, like the Ugandan Asians, they had the 3. Of course, they had the capital, they have the technical know-how, because you may be a good industrialist, you are creative, innovative, but you are not good
at setting systems.
So administration fails you, and it's impossible to have one person having all the three in one. So we could see some of the Ugandan Asian businesses thriving at the time. But over time, our investment in human capital, which
has changed this.
Which is one of the principles of Musevenomics, has changed this. But later on, certainly, we have started now seeing the emergence of our local entrepreneurs, some that started as traders, now going into manufacturing. What have you got to say about that?
One of the strongest drive that really is coming up in the 2020 to 2025 industrial policy, and it is not so much amplified out there, but it is taking shape, is the import substitution component. The import substitution component is that the president has said, if need be, facilitate these traders, turn them into manufacturers. Because globally, industrialists usually emerge from former traders, because these people have some experience. They have interfaced with the product. They have got the market already. So, and they are already into it. They won't keep changing professions, which is our common problem. So in that case, the import substitution goes beyond supporting the local industries that are into existence to include the local industries that are supposed to emerge.
So now, beyond the traditional, that Ugandan person who was a trader is emerging, what else are you seeing that we can say as a country that is pointing us to our promised land of the $500 billion economy? Because I am, for example, seeing young Ugandans coming together and form investment clubs. Then they start a cottage industry. There is that group that is emerging. I am seeing Ugandans that are partnering with foreigners. For example, if you look at Quality Chemicals and CIPLA, partnering with somebody who has the expertise, maybe and the capital, and maybe we have the market, maybe I have the knowledge, the technical know-how. So there is that class of partnerships emerging between local and international. There is the other group of local, but working together, mobilize the capital and probably some bit of expertise. They pay for the expertise and set up. So are you seeing the same?
Those are signs of what? Those are signals that as an economy, we are now taking off. To take off is to open up. To open up is to learn, is to size yourself within a global system. For what shows, for instance, in our cultures, what shows that you are actually becoming a man is to be able to walk out of your father's home, go out there, you behave, you interact, you befriend. Out of befriending and showing of the real character, you attract a young girl that will come with you to your home because you are trustable. You are trusted. She has seen through you. You are a gentleman. Then she comes and wants to see what is happening in your home. Before you know it, you start to pattern and you move together. So as we speak right now, Uganda as an economy, we are opening up. What is helping us to open up and sell us out there? Out there are indexes that are used to measure, to see how far are you as an economy. As an economy, they first see those foreign direct investments that came.
Did they stay?
Did they stay? How are you treating them? Do you tell them one thing in the night and another during the day? That boosts the confidence. Where are you lying with the current industrialization? Actually, I needed to tell you that one of the biggest importance of industrialization is to be able to brand a country. If you go to our communities, and you have something in the pocket.
Yeah.
You sit at people's meetings.
Yeah.
Now, when you have industrialization taking shape at global arena,
Yeah.
you have some size. You start to speak with other big boys.
Yeah.
Now, that brand is what will attract other people. Now, what you are talking about investment groups coming up, it means that there is what we call absorption capacity. There is what we call some savings.
Yeah. Yeah.
It tells you that the economy is now working, is now growing.
Yeah.
There is some money coming out that are being saved.
Yeah.
What are the signs of that? The sign of that is commercial banks.
Yeah.
That's one tier.
Yeah.
Now you have volunteer groups.
Yeah.
All those are telling you there is some trust in the financial system with their money. Then it tells you that the entrepreneurship mind is also growing. Meaning we are shifting from the culture of I must go, study, and work in public service. People are now shaping out of that nomenclature and thinking. Now they are telling you, no, I have some entrepreneurial skills, because the market policy, the private sector opening up is now giving them confidence. Now that tells you, that sign, those three signs of international reputation, domestic savings, and domestic finance mobilization and entrepreneurial skills are good signs that the economy is now purely taking off to another level. And for those who have hopes that it's going to surpass some of the economies in the region, I want to side with them. And the truth, the reality shows the case.
So in terms of incentives, I know you talked about government coming up with the industrial policy, which we haven't promoted publicly. But what are the specific incentives that we can say have helped the industrial revolution? Or is there an industrial revolution anyway?
Whatever the magnitude,
Yeah.
the revolution is there.
Yeah.
It is incumbent on whoever the window through which they see and interpret it, which we call individual paradigm.
Yeah.
The truth of the matter, if you go by the chronology of where we started, there is some sort of evolution, and a good evolution in the industrial space.
Yeah.
Whether it will take us to where it is going to, we would want to go, is a different matter. But as of now, there is some good hope. And what are those policies that have actually done this? The fundamental policy for sustainable industrialization is market liberalization at two levels. Product market, which is consumer market, and factor market. Now, currently, as a country, Uganda, we have done excellently well on the product market liberalization. The policies have done tremendously well, much as we still have a lot to do with the factor market, which is now on our agenda to ensure that the factor market is equally understood strategically. The policies that come up are speaking to it. Now we are using product market policies to sort of constraints of factor market. So we need to go back into the kitchen and improve on our factor market policies.
Oh, brilliant. And of course, for our viewers, they may need to know what could be included in the factor market. Certainly, we've talked about labor. Have we trained sufficient or a critical mass of industrial capabilities?
Not yet. We think that the new TVET Act is going to most likely drive us there. The change in the curriculum will most likely take us there. The initiatives that private sector people have, there is unwritten collaboration that the private sector is doing with the government, but it's not well amplified.
Yeah.
Private industries, private businesses are helping up in skilling through internships, placements, and all these things you hear about.
Yeah.
They are not paid for.
Yeah.
Yet the skilling was supposed to be a function of government. But now, because government is in good relationship with the private sector, private sector is carrying it on. And no wonder government investment into that is going to
Wouldn't
reduce.
one say that that is part of the factor market policies? For example, within the factor market policies, I would consider industrial parks, where they give you land,
The land,
which has been demarcated with all the necessary facilities there. And then that is one angle.
that is one of them.
Then there is another angle of the local content policies. For example, when you go to the oil sector, you will find that the oil companies are required by virtue of the agreements they sign with Uganda to upskill our people.
Yes.
In areas where we are lacking basic as welding. And now we are seeing the oil companies delivering on their role. And somebody may say that government has abandoned the skilling. Yet actually government is saying, I have not abandoned the skilling. I know it is very important. But as a partnership, when we set up this industrial park, this land costs us so much, the infrastructure costs us so much. You are supposed to invest in the following areas.
Yes.
Build our human capital, make sure you produce products of the right quality, and then also ensuring that we are selling to the local market or produce for the international market. So I think it is not fair to say that the government is not playing in the factor market.
At that level,
Yeah.
it is just at apex, and the significance is not that deep.
Yeah.
There are two areas where government now, in the recent 5 years, has worked on what I think is going to create transformation of the labor as a factor of production. One, don't underrate the policy of mass education. If you have a wager, if all our wagers were able to finish P7, that would improve our efficiency with a big leap. Because first, to begin with, communication at production is unanimous. You can speak to each other. But right now, you'll find an Indian or an international expert to speak to a wager. He needs 3 people in between, 2 other layers. He needs some person who is going to understand his English. Then bring this English to another person who understands English, but able to put in a local language. Then the one that of local language can now translate for
the peers.
Now, if we could push the universal education up to senior 4, that will create a very huge impact. Number 2,
but that policy is already there.
It is there, and that's why we are very appreciative that if government continue to prioritize it, because we are seeing the impetus, the strength government came up with when they were bringing it has since gone down. It is now left to RDCs.
No, the president says he has been let down by the people.
Fantastic.
We the parents, and sometimes even
how
the government.
How do we as a country
rediscover
that?
And recently on his tours, he said when they let him down that route, he now introduced the industrial hubs, where
they want to be as significant.
Where he's skilling
a few,
of course.
To me, we wish we could rediscover the appetite, the prioritization of that agenda. The second thing in the labor market is the change of curriculum, which has happened, which is now about what a child can do with his hands and his psychomotor. We want to bring that and run away a little bit from theory. That will create production, will trigger industrialization. The third thing, of course, is the TVET.
Yeah.
Is the TVET. Much as it has challenges that the mindset out there is not yet tuned to appreciate.
Yeah.
So you would think the national guidance apparatus needs to improve and take this and educate people that when you bring your child to the TVET line, it does not stop him from getting a degree. He can get a degree by blending the two or by spearheading on TVETs.
Wouldn't it be fair to say that if you, the industrialists, paid the graduates from those institutions and the people see that they are making more money than the people in Italy?
Payment at any place of work is a function of production. The industries must produce, the output increases, the cost, the profit from which we deduct the increment on paying these employers will increase. So the first thing is to address the fundamentals. How do we make an industry stand? How do we make an industry grow? How do we make an industry excel? Then we can be able to reward other factors very well. Then the other issue is, naturally, I think the political hand, when it comes to supporting industries, the political hand has been controlling what you call industrial resources. The minerals beneath the earth, the agro products, anything that is of value is under government control. Now, it means that the citizenry is detached from that resource. How do we bring the two? How do we bring the resource closer to the citizen so that the citizen can increase his innovation and tap into this resource?
If you say government has been controlling, for example, agro-industrialization, exactly what are they controlling? Because I thought agriculture is a private business.
Let me give you the three leading enterprises of value in agriculture. First is coffee. You know how politically government has been tussling with coffee and coffee cooperatives. It's not a let be. Right now, government has taken coffee back. Before, among all the products, it is coffee that had an agency of government in UCDA. The second crop that earns in this country is cotton. You have an agency of government in cotton. And when government is into it, there are pros and cons. There is the function of regulation and the function of facilitation. Government plays role of compliance, which is regulation, but fails on facilitation. Now, the third thing is fish. You have heard now the politics of fish. It's not a purely market-run resource. You are in, you are out. The fourth is tea. Every boardroom is discussing tea. And we are anxiously waiting to see the new pronouncement of government on the tea policy. So these are the resources. So if these resources could be facilitated through the private sector, would move to another angle. Come to the minerals. Right now, the mineral beneficiation is not productive because government issues concessions to people who are with briefcases. So if we could rethink the policy of resource management, then the market will be. That is why you see every day we are crying to government. Maize is going to Kenya. Industries here are closing. Tea, cotton seeds, they are taking away. Sim. because our factor policies are not yet avocado. You've seen people of avocado. They set up industries here, but avocado is going to Kenya. Why? The licensing apparatus, the market control apparatus is still not yet clear as it is with the product market.
Okay, despite all of that,
Yes.
which we are seeing, because like when you go to a quarry, you will see dust, but you will not see the great work happening beneath. So the picture you have just painted, in my view, is the dust that we are seeing. But there's a lot
that is ongoing. That's what I'm saying, yes.
So what are we making? Because I looked at the statistics recently. I think it was in the NRM manifesto where they talked about manufacturing today contributing 23% of our exports. And in 1986, it was 0. We are not exporting anything. So we have moved from 0 to 23. But even the GDP growth, our GDP for a long time was dominated by agriculture. Now, over the last 3 years, or 5 years, agriculture has been oscillating between 22 to 26%. Today, manufacturing is 24%. So it is going up.
Yes, yes.
So, but also when I go to the market, I see a lot of products. But you as a representative of the manufacturers in Uganda, what are we manufacturing today that we never used to produce?
If you want to understand the stride we have made in industrialization, I normally say, let's look at 3 levels. It's good what you are telling me is the macro level that is looking at good statistics.
Yes.
But to me, and to an industrialist, that is third level analysis, where we are looking at the impact. For instance, the goods, the value of export, 23% of it is contributed by manufactured goods. That is tertiary. That is tertiary. But there is what I call primary level and secondary level. Primary level, which I call household level, is where development is measured. And we are talking about anything necessary in a house. Right now, there is nothing, absolutely nothing you can say, I looked for it on Ugandan market, I didn't find it.
Maybe because of the Chinese importing from China.
No, no, because we produce these things here. I can count for you an industry, a manufacturer, and the product. For everything we need, we have in the house.
Give us examples.
I normally say, when your day is starting from when you are getting off the bed. When you are getting off the bed, you are getting off from a wooden or a metallic bed. A metallic bed is made 200 meters from each of our households. There is a welder.
For those who are in Kampala.
Yes. For those in Kampala, fine. There is a metallic bed on the end of the roads. There is next to a metallic manufacturer. Those, there is a carpenter. If the government policy was harsh and this carpenter was not working from there, he wouldn't be there. So there is a bed to begin with. On a bed, you have a mattress. Right now, I have 68 companies that produce mattresses.
In Uganda, 68.
68 large companies. There are these other we call box formers. They are equally there on the market. And there is a reason why we have not completely fought them to extinction. Informal sector is part of the formal sector because they share a word. Formal. One is informal, another is formal. So they coexist. You have a blanket. We make these blankets here. I have 5 companies that make blankets. Bed sheets. If you want to know that we have manufactured enough bed sheets, you go to any village in the radius of 200 kilometers from Kampala, we'll find a Mutembei with bed sheets.
Yeah.
He's looking for the market, meaning that we have manufactured enough. There is a pillowcase to that.
Yeah.
So there is a comfortable person throughout the night. In other words, the incidence of waking up to go to the doctor, we have at least reduced on that. When you wake up, what do? You go to your bathroom.
You pause a bit. You've reminded me when I was young, my mom used to have a bed called Vono.
Yes.
But I understood it was imported.
Vono was made in England, for your information.
It was imported.
It was
now
imported.
Everything we have is
now,
good quality.
Actually, people are saying we don't want beds anymore. They prefer now to go on the cement. Do you know why they want to go on the cement? An alternative to the bed is a cement. We have companies that are manufacturing cement. And now in the new dispensation, we have upped our game. Every roof, I mean every floor, is now entitled to tiles. Because we manufacture these tiles here. I suspect from the village where you came from and school where you went to, there are used to be morning inspection to see if you have jiggers. In your.
We had many.
We had national scourge of jigger outbreaks. Do you know where it ended? Because right now every household has cement. Majority of households have cement. Majority of households have tiles. Tiles are made here, and they have been made cheap. You hear someone say, I want to get it from Spain. For God's sake, a tile is clay. Uganda has clay.
Good quality clay.
Good quality clay. So that mentality must go. We have enough tiles. They are manufactured here, and the factory is actually open to have visitations for those who don't want to believe. So do you see now how comfortable you are? And you are waking up to work, not waking up to go to attend to a health center. Because either you have jiggers or you have... There are so many things we need to speak about. There are those... They used to call it bikukunyi in my culture.
Kukunyi. Fleas.
Something would penetrate into your skin and you only discover after a week. Then there is a spot. And you have to go they were specialists on villages to go and open those holes and get that it wasn't like a lava inside your body because of poor sleep. Sleeping on poor materials. Now that is gone. Now, instead of waking to go anywhere, you now wake up going into your bathroom. To do what? To wash yourself. We used to have soap called Lifebuoy. It used to be manufactured somewhere in England, and the first agent in East Africa was in Kenya.
Of course, you had to be an affluent family.
To afford that. Or Imperial. It was either called Lifebuoy or Imperial. Only two kinds of soap. Right now, even in garages, there is manufacturing of soap.
Across.
As a country, we have over 120 big companies manufacturing soap of all forms. Meaning beauty and skin care. We have ticked the box. If we want to know a doctor that is not attended to is a skin doctor. And these are not things that we really wake up and just say, let it happen. It has happened deliberately. You have not seen people go because of sunburns. Because we have cosmetics that we rub onto our skins to be able to protect the skin.
Made in Uganda.
Made in Uganda. I think there are right now 62 companies into cosmetics. If you want, you know them there on the market. Sometimes I don't want to speak for one at the expense of the others. But you go to any supermarket, there are cosmetics in abundance and very, very cheap. You wouldn't believe there is a jerry of 500 shillings manufactured in Uganda. Now, you have come out of your
Your
bathroom.
bed, yeah. No, you are still in the bathroom,
Yes.
brushing the teeth.
You need to brush your teeth.
Because those days we used just to pick the
We
tree,
used
the
to
stick.
use
The stick,
a stick.
charcoal, ash.
Hash.
Eh,
But now, I can tell you, you will find more than 10 varieties of these toothpastes in supermarket. There is a toothbrush of 200 shillings. Meaning that when we are manufacturing these things, we don't manufacture for Dr. Katende. No. For us, we are looking at solving the problems of the people. We don't necessarily look at the market, but solving the problems that are affecting the citizens.
So now you leave the bathroom.
Before you leave the bathroom, there is this thing called the mirror.
Oh, yes.
The colonialists use the mirror to trick Africans. That have you seen yourself through it? Yes. Give me land, I give you mirror. Right now, honestly,
you're making them
we make mirrors.
Yeah.
And you might think it is like a small thing. We have plastic. In your times, there are the lifts, hair lift. It used to be made of wood.
Yes.
Then later they used to make out of metal. These blacksmith. But right now we have plastic across the country. You can hand some reggae out of your bathroom. You can hand a beautiful look, have a beautiful look when you are leaving, and that is not by mistake. You go to your bed, your sitting room, you're dining. At your dining, there is bread. Those days, bread used to come from Kenya, and on order. If you do not press an order 4 or 5 days before, you will not get that bread. Right now, at every corner shop in this country, there is bread. Even if you wanted bread to be brought to your doorstep, it will come because it is abundant. The confectionery industry has done wonders to work on the food, especially fast foods. Those days for a man to leave home, he would wait for breakfast to be cooked. You know how? 2 hours before he leaves. But right now, you minimize the time because the confectionery industry has provided ready-to-eat food. There is whatever you want readily available, not only in abundance, but in variety. And these are things we are taking for granted, unfortunately, for some of us who don't want to open our eyes and see. Sugar. Actually, now most of the people have hated sugar because it is too much available. We have industries which are producing sugar. By then, sugar used to come from to be imported. Then when it gets into the country, as I said before, someone must give you a cheat to get sugar. But right now, sugar is available to the tune that we have started beating our children not to take sugar. Because it is too much.
Actually, I actually have a scar here.
Yes.
I was punished by my mom for taking the sugar.
For taking sugar then.
Without her permission. Because it was only for
now
children.
You beat your children to take sugar.
It was only for children or when you fall sick. Now they catch me taking it. But by the way you talk about sugar, you've reminded me of my tea.
You can
even a cup like this, it would be made in China, made in England. But now, you go to all our major industrial parks in Kapeka,
we are making these.
We are making them.
And we are actually in surplus.
Including the teapots.
Yes. So now we are at the dining table.
Yes. And even the table itself.
The table itself, we manufacture it here. You can sit with your wife in the morning, sit on the table, and you talk, hey, how are you? How was your night? These are not things we take for granted when we are building a nation, boss. These are very fundamentals. Now, we are leaving the house. While you are at the morning, there is a radio that is telling you what is happening in the outer world. Those days, they would send 2-3 kids to go past some villages to listen to announcements. They send you, because there is only one person in the village with a radio. So they would take you in the evening to go and listen for announcements, so that your father should not miss an announcement. Then you come and say, the Balangide Gundi, Negundi, they have made announcement, it was for so and so, so and so, the rest were not for this area. Now, there is a radio at every dining table.
Before you leave the house.
Before you leave the house.
I think I have to stop here for today. It's a very interesting conversation. We have to repeat this. We have to continue with this conversation in our next episode. Our viewers out there, that's what we have had time for. It has been an exciting time with you, Dr. Ezra Muhumuza of Uganda Manufacturers Association. You have not told us how many members you have, but all the major manufacturers in the country are with him.
My last word to the viewers is that from now onwards, stop looking at an industry as that structure you see in Namanve or on the roadside. Go in your home, look for the industry. You'll find it there.
Doctor, I'm going to invite you back for the next episode. But for now, that is what we have had time for. Until next week, my name is Edward Katende. See you then.
Thank you.
Thank you.